Hello my friends, and welcome back to our continued blind Let's Play Ace Attorney Dual Destinies for the PS5. My name is the FlightlessBird, this is your story based channel, and today we will have our cross-examination against Poco. Let's do it. I hope you're all having a wonderful, fantastic, amazing, awesome day today. I see you haven't changed. You never were one to worry about wasting time. Well, very well. Even if it may be a waste of time, you may proceed, Mr. Wright. I'll show you both just how fruitful any cross-examination can be. Cross-examination. What I saw. I went to the robotics lab at about 2 p.m. for my regular recharge. Hold it! Your regular recharge? What is that exactly? I have to refill my battery's power or else I stop working. I go to the lab to do that. So, that recharge occurred around 2 p.m.? Around the time of the murder? That's right. I go every day at 2 p.m. Just as I was about to charge up, Athena came in and hugged mommy Metis. Hold it! Hugged her, huh? Which Edgewood took to mean stabbed her with a weapon. You said the two of them were talking before Miss Sykes hugged her mother, is that right? Yes, they were talking very loudly, but I couldn't tell what they were saying. Couldn't tell? Even though they were speaking so loudly? I'm only allowed to listen to voices that are directed at me. Really? If I listened to every voice, it would be a little better than a mobile eavesdropper. Well, that explains why some of Punko's testimony is so vague. It's a shame that Elfpen wasn't listening in, however. We could have learned what they were talking about just before Dr. Sykes was killed. Now then, what happened after that? And then mommy Metis fell down. After that, I was recharging, so I don't know anything. Hold it! I don't want to delve too deeply here, but could you tell us how the victim appeared and acted at this moment? Mommy Metis was very surprised when she was hugged. I heard her heart pound. Her heart? Mr. Wright, I've forgotten about this document we found in the robotics lab. Those robots have a heartbeat detection system. Now that he mentions it, I do remember reading something like that there. They detect the presence of people by the sound of their heartbeats. But wait a minute. That means if Dr. Sykes really did die at this moment. Punko, how is Dr. Sykes after she fell down? Did she die instantly? Do we have an autopsy? We do. Between 1 and 3 p.m. caused death, instant death, due to a stab wound to the heart. Mommy Metis was very surprised when she was hugged. I heard her heart pound. Could you still hear the sound of her heartbeat? Let's see. The moment she fell, her heart was pounding, but the death was instantaneous. After that, I don't know. I started recharging just then. Of all the unlucky timing, if you had heard anything after that, it could have possibly proved that the hug wasn't actually the moment of the murder. I'm very sorry. I'm afraid I don't know. I'm very sorry. The robot is designing to go into sleep mode automatically, so it can't be helped. But it does appear it detected an increased heart rate at the moment of the stabbing. After mommy Metis' heart started pounding in surprise, she fell by the window. It was the round window on the workbench side of the room. The workbench, huh? Poco must be talking about that table to the right where that giant robot is now. Is there something critical in Punko's statement just now? Let's say yes. Your Honor, I believe this statement is critical. I'd like her added to testimony.
Very well. Punko, could you please add that statement to your testimony if you would? That's a good little girl.
Mommy Metis fell down near the round window on the workbench side of the room. Then why would she be there?
Hold it!
Let's see. There are 2 round windows in the robotics lab. Which one do you mean? The one on the right, near the hanging scroll. The hanging scroll was Mommy Metis' prized possession. Okay, in the pictures of the crime scene from 7 years ago, there is definitely a hanging scroll and a Japanese theater mask hanging on the workbench side wall. But is there some problem with this statement? Yeah, because she was on the bench. After I charged up, I was cleaning the room and Mr. Simon came in. Prosecutor Blackquill. I wonder what he went there for. His objective. I don't know. I guess I can't very well ask Punko to speculate. So what happened after Prosecutor Blackquill arrived? And then an error occurred. There is no data after that point.
Hold it!
You don't remember what happened next? An error, huh? I wonder if... All data is suddenly cut off at that point. I don't know anything after that. The answer to that question is right here. According to the defense's theory, this photo shows when the robot was being taken apart. Exactly. We could conclude that Punko's error was a result of her being dismantled. Oh. Indeed. The bodies of these robots are designed to be controlled remotely by a separate computer. Yes, that's basically what Ms. Blackquill explained to us too. She said that their hearts and memories are stored on a separate computer. When the witness was taken apart, she lost use of her body, but not her memories. That's how she is now still able to give testimony about the events of that day.
That's fascinating. As if she can be seriously wounded, but her soul still burns.
There are a few parts of Punko's testimony that are hard to interpret. Edward chose to interpret hugged as stabbed. But I'd better try to iron out who did what, where, and to whom for myself. Hold on, Athena. I'm gonna save you. So, my thing is this, and this.
Objection!
Boom! Yes, got it in one. Punko, your statement may have just inspired a breakthrough. I was helpful. Hooray! I'm so happy! I love Punko. Just to be sure, let's go over it again, okay? The victim fell near the window on the workbench side of the room. However, she was way over there on the square windows. Her body was discovered on the operating table.
But the operating table and the workbench are 2 different locations.
Exactly. Exactly, Your Honor. Yeah! We just learned a new crucial fact. What could explain the 2 very different locations of the body? I'll tell you what. The victim moved. Yeah. An 11-year-old girl couldn't have moved the heavy body of an adult. So the only explanation is that the victim walked to the operating table herself. In other words, what Punko observed near the workbench couldn't possibly have been the moment of the murder.
Well, I am very relieved to hear that. Glad to know that the murder wasn't committed in front of little Punko here.
Yes, as we just heard in her testimony, Miss Sykes hugged her mother, nothing more.
Objection!
Right. It's been 8 years, but you're still just as green as ever.
Green? But I can't recall ever seeing Mr. Wright in anything but a blue suit.
Hey, blue's my favorite color. What can I say? I look good in blue. If the defendant couldn't move the body herself, she could have had it moved for her. Moved for her? But Miss Sykes and Dr. Sykes were the only ones there. I agree. Since this robot is equipped with a heartbeat detection system, it would have been aware of another person's presence if someone else had been there. We could therefore conclude that the defendant and the victim were the only ones present.
Well then, who do you suggest moved the body?
You know what strikes me as odd? This strikes me as odd. The estimated time of death is between 1 and 3. We're assuming that she died at 2. But that 1 o'clock there. I mean, why would it say 1 o'clock? We kind of clearly know that she died after 2, right? Because she was still alive when she was hugged. Unless the wound happened before 1. And the reason she fell down is because she got hugged and she lost her balance due to loss of blood and she was trying to hide it. I don't know. I just think, you know how autopsy reports are in Ace Attorney? I just feel that this thing is either lying to me or it's telling me something that I need to know, but I don't know what it is yet. Don't you know it's in the nature of robot to help people do things? Miss Panko, allow me to ask you a question. It's Panko! Yeah! My name is Panko, say it with me, Panko! I believe you said you were cleaning after Dr. Sykes fell down. Did you happen to move something large onto the operating table? Yes, I did. Athena asked me to. Uh-oh. Athena asked you to?
And what did you move, little punko?
I don't know. Unless something has an ID tag, I can't tell what it is.
An ID tag, you say?
Yes, a tag with a barcode on it. We robots scan them to tell us what a thing is. That paper in the lab did mention something about that. Recognizes people by scanning their spacesuit or uniform jacket ID tag set, but also says, can also recognize a person by facial features once the face has been recognized. So it would appear that Miss Punker here can't identify what it moved. My name is Punko! But we humans have the power to imagine what it was, do we not?
Oh, we do?
Well, I do at the very least. Miss Panko, on the defendant's command, move the body onto the operating table. Ah! Panko, did you really move Dr. Sykes' body? This is really important. Isn't there any way you could tell? I don't know. Without an ID tag, I can't tell. That's a lie. You can. Give it up, right? If the victim's heart was stopped, the robot's detection system would be useless. Furthermore, Dr. Sykes usually wore a white coat while she was working. She kept the jacket with her ID tag on it draped over a chair in the robotics lab, and only wore it for special occasions. In other words, the victim wasn't wearing her ID tag at the time. From the robot's point of view, her body was simply just another object.
Objection!
But Punko was equipped with a facial recognition system. Dang it, that's what I was going to say. The game just took that away from me. If she really did move the victim, she would have recognized the body as Dr. Sykes. But she didn't, so that means...
Objection!
A face can easily be covered with a piece of cloth, a mask, or anything else for that matter. With her facial features hidden, the robot wouldn't be able to tell it was Dr. Sykes. He's right. To summarize, Miss Sykes stabbed her mother near the workbench, then, using the robot, she moved the body to the table where she removed the sword and was stained in blood.
Order, order, order. If that's the case, and I have a question. Why did the defendant move the body to the operating table in the first place?
You want a reason? Very well. Is it gonna say, like, she wanted to try to put her back together again? Or something? Because she doesn't know how people heal versus robots healing? What? You can't possibly have an explanation. Your emotions blind you to the truth. You could learn a lot from our robot friends. Calm and rational thought will open your eyes to the truth in front of you, Mr. Wright. Now then, do you remember the operating table's one special feature?
I believe I read that robots can be assembled and disassembled there. Isn't that right?
Well, that's right, and to the defendant, who was just a child at the time. The table was like a magic box that could make robots appear or disappear in seconds. But in the end, my mom just put her on the operating table and fixed her in a flash. I was so impressed by what my mom did. I even asked her if she would put me on the table and fix me if I ever got hurt. It looked like magic to me, what she could do. You can't possibly be suggesting. This young, sheltered girl had a difficult time distinguishing robots from people. But take a look at Punko's arm. It was Miss Sykes who bandaged it up like that.
She must have thought that machines heal in the same way that people do. One adorable, naive mistake. Reminds me of my own little green child.
No way. I refuse to believe it. Miss Sykes made a childish, naive, and cruel mistake. She thought that if a robot could be dismantled and vanish without a trace.
Prosecutor Edgeworth, if you're about to claim what I think you are, I demand that you word it as delicately as you can.
With all due respect, Your Honor, all I can do is present the truth as it stands. The reason the defendant moved the victim's body to the operating table.
Hold it!
No, don't say another word, just stop! Was to dismantle the evidence so that she could get away with her crime. That can't be true! That was a really cool scene with the flashing images.
Order in the court, I say! Order in the court, I say!
Hey, I called that one. That's twice in a row with this episode I've called the line. Edgeworth. She was just a little kid. How can you say such a terrible thing? Horrible, Like I said, you're just as green as ever. I came here today as a prosecutor to seek only the truth, no more, and no less. My theory is simply the result of a rational consideration of every possibility.
Objection!
But dismantling isn't the table's only a function. It can make repairs as well. It's conceivable that Miss Sykes moved her mother to the table in order to fix her. I suppose that could be another way of interpreting it. But dismantle or repair, it doesn't matter either way. What do you mean? After murdering her mother, Miss Sykes may have come to her senses. Perhaps she did want to make it appear as if it had never happened. And that's why she tried to repair her mother. Yes, that's one possible explanation. But we mustn't forget the facts of this case. The victim was observed to fall down after being hugged by the defendant, and the body was moved per the defendant's command. These two facts that indicate the defendant's guilt, remain unchanged. This just can't be true.
Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence to refute the prosecution's claim?
Evidence? Right. Let's see.
I can't think of any.
I'm afraid I don't have any evidence. Since becoming chief prosecutor, I've learned that the truth isn't always pretty. Now, accept the truth, Mr. Wright. Your subordinate murdered her own mother. Your Honor, the prosecution demands a verdict. The hostages have suffered enough.
What a terrible and tragic conclusion. The defense has no counter-argument. See no need to further prolong this trial.
Edgeworth's argument seems solid enough, but, there's no way Athena could have ever done anything like that. What do I do? There has to be something, but I can't think of a single thing! Objected.
Are you actually gonna talk now? But Prosecutor Blackquill.
This is quite the farce you are conducting here. I could die from laughter. Prosecutor Blackquill, what are you talking about? What I'm talking about is that your argument is based on entirely a false premise. Go on, we're listening. Could this be the miracle that I need? But what is Prosecutor Blackquill trying to pull here? 7 years. For 7 long years. This case has been on my mind. Not for an instant did I not think of it. I'm the one who killed my mentor and don't think you can alter that fact now. Your baldness. I will take the stand and I will take no. I won't take no for an answer.
Of course, Prosecutor Blackquill. Please go ahead.
Blackwell's on the stand. Ooh. 7 years ago, I went to the Cosmos Space Center with the intention of killing Dr. Sykes. But when I got to the robotics lab, I found Athena there instead. I would not be swayed from my purpose, so I waited for Dr. Sykes to return. And then I committed the act. Ah, how cathartic it was.
A little punk will here witness the victim falling. In other words...
Objection!
I don't need any of your other words, old man. I can guess what happened.
Which would be?
She fell means she fell, merely that. A mother and a child fooling around. Perhaps she tripped. Not that it matters. When I entered the lab, there was no trace of Dr. Sykes to be seen. There was no dead body either. Of course, meaning she must have left the room.
So the murder occurred after the time period Poco described in testimony.
You should hardly take stock in the words of a wind-up toy.
Objection!
Well then how do you explain the fact that the defendant had the robot move something? Athena was always tinkering with robots on the operating table to amuse herself. And she always had Punker move the heavy ones for her. Well, that day was no different. Punker moved a heavy robot for Athena. This is awful. What he's saying seems to make sense, and yet...
Objection!
Prosecutor Blackquill, are you trying, even now, to turn away from the truth? Don't you realize we could bring the dark age of the law to a close today?
Objection!
You expect too much from me. I'm just a murderer beyond redemption. Why don't you just let me go so I can settle down into hell? Ugh. Prosecutor Blackwill's execution is tomorrow. If the truth doesn't come out now, it's all over.
Are you saying that the little girl in the robot had nothing to do with the murder?
Well, that's right, so let's hear your verdict. If we don't hurry, I might miss a ferry across the Styx. Don't you dare, Judge! Don't forget I have hostages over here! And Simon, how long are you going to cover for her? Miss Blackquill. Forgive me, Ara. I never wanted to do anything like this for me. But you agreed to this trial. If you have a argument, then present your evidence. That's the rule of the courtroom. Isn't that right, Chief Prosecutor? Blackquill, you selfish.
Well, to be frank, I don't like this, but it's my duty to make a decision. No one has a counter-argument, I will announce my verdict.
Is this really happening? Is it really going to end just like it did 7 years ago? I wanted to do it so bad. Even now, I want to fly out of here and go save him. No, I can't tell her. But how can I lie to Athena? If I can't prove Prosecutor Blackwill's innocence in this trial, I don't think Athena will ever forgive me. I can't let this happen. But I just don't have the evidence to counter Prosecutor Blackwill's testimony. Okay, who said that now? How did you just suddenly appear in the trial? Where did you come from? Like, I love how people were in jail and now they just suddenly appear in trial. Athena, what are you? Are you feeling okay? I can hear it. I can hear the voice of his heart. He's hiding something. If he really is, I could sure use Athena's help here. Her power might be just the thing to get us through this.
Objection!
Sykes to know. No need for you to chime in here. Just accept that you're innocent.
Objection!
These past 7 years, they've been just as hard on me, you know. What are you talking about? Do you remember that horrible, horrible trial? Please, you had to listen to me. He didn't kill her. His heart is screaming that he didn't kill her. Even now, every time I stand in a courtroom, it comes back to haunt me. Not being heard, no matter how hard you try. Feeling so helpless. Caught in people's stars. So scarred that it feels like your chest is in a vice. I'm terrified of courtrooms. I want to run out of that door even now. And yet, you found a way to keep your fears at bay and become a lawyer. Thanks. That's because one day, I came to realize that I had to fight. I couldn't give up. I exercised hard and I studied hard. I wanted to become the strongest lawyer that I could be. This day has finally come. The day I've been looking forward to with all of my heart. This is why I became a lawyer. This is why I studied psychology. It was all to save you from this false conviction.
But Miss Sykes, do you realize what it would mean? You are the accused, after all. You prove Prosecutor Blackquill innocent, well then...
The only thing that matters is the truth. It's my duty to find out what that truth is. Simon, Please, give me this chance. The chance to shake off this fear that's been with me for 7 years and to face the truth. Athena is being so brave, confronting her past like this. This might really be the last chance to save them both. Prosecutor Blackquill, please testify one more time about the incident 7 years ago. Fine. But your efforts will surely be in vain. For I am not a man who can be cut down easily. Here we go, Simon. Let me hear the voice of your heart. Let's go. I went to the Cosmos Space Center with the intention of killing Dr. Sykes. So he's angry here. But when I got to the robotics lab, I found Athena there instead. He's happy and angry. I would not be swayed from my purpose, so I waited for Dr. Sykes to return. And then I committed the act. Ah, how cathartic it was. So he's mad that she's not there, but he's happy that Athena's there. I'm not sure. But I think I just hit it, even though I'm not sure. This feeling of happiness. Even though the person you were looking for wasn't there, you felt happy. Why is that? Because Athena was... Simple. When I was looking for Athena and hadn't found her yet, I grew worried. So when I saw her in the robotics lab, it was happily relieved. Merely that. Oh, that's a lot of noise. Just now, you said that you went to the Space Center to kill Dr. Sykes. But the first thing you did was look for her daughter instead? I had no intention of harming Athena, so I want to confirm that she was safe first. It was just part of my plan, nothing contradictory about that. Gah. The second I find an inconsistency, cuts it down. Simon knows the principles of analytical psychology. There is less noise now, but I don't see any instabilities we can latch on to. I was afraid of that. We'll just have to keep chipping away at him, then bit by bit. Could you update his testimony, Athena? You got it, boss. I like how she makes a smiley face when she types. Aww, look at that. When I invited the Athena's robotics lab, I was relieved. So why is he still happy here? When we viewed emotions alongside your testimony, we found that unexpected emotion. Wait a minute. There really isn't anything strange here. I don't know, but I think maybe we made a mistake, Mr. Wright. I think maybe you're right. Let's take another look. There must be an unexpected emotion here somewhere. Or the lack of an emotion. Oh, now he's sad here. This is different. Last time he was, like, happy. Now he's sad. Not even you can falsify emotions, Prosecutor Blackquill. What? When you said that you killed Dr. Sykes in your testimony, you felt sadness. Why would someone who had lain in wait to kill her be sad at her death? Such an obvious attack. Yes, I felt sadness, but it wasn't for her. I felt sorrow for Athena and her circumstances. Gah! Can't be talking about that. Can he? I was just a convenient subject for her research. Dr. Sykes was so intent on her research, she forced her daughter to undergo experiments. My objective was to save Athena from an obsessive scientist who treated her own daughter like a research subject. What? I went to psychology lab first. That's where I would usually find Athena playing. But that day was different. I heard someone crying in the robotics lab next door. Was Athena being subjected to yet another experiment? I thought as I went to see. Conveniently, Athena had cried herself to sleep, so all I had to do was wait and kill. So that's why I was relieved when he saw Athena. But is this story really true? I'm not sure how much to believe. Mr. Knight, how you doing, Athena? Still hanging in there? Did his noise level went down? I'm a lot stronger than I look, boss. Now take a look at this. The noise level actually increased. What? What? It went up? I've never seen it do that before. Prosecutor Blackquill is lying to witness testimony. As a matter of fact, he is piling lie on top of lie in an attempt to make his claim sound more believable. He's trying even harder to express his true feelings, and that's what's causing the noise. Oh, this is a good duel right here. How in the world should I approach this? An evidence-based approach might work if I could find a contradiction. Otherwise, I should look for an inconsistency in his emotions. There are no flaws in my testimony, and his boldness is prepared to give his verdict. Give up on this lost cause and let the law free me of these chains already.
Objection!
I don't think so. Not while I'm around. Now, contradictory testimony or inconsistent emotions, which I tackle first. Ah! I have a feeling they're both wrong. Let's go with testimony. We're a lawyer first. Okay, let's present some evidence here. Got it, boss. But if you want to go back to looking for inconsistent emotions, just let me know. I can easily switch back. Okay, I heard crying from next door. Of course, I was worried. I hurried over and opened the door to a bike lab. But before I could lead Athena out of there, first my luck Dr. Sykes came in. I refused to hand Athena over, so I had no choice but to kill my mentor. What about Ponko during all this? The moonrock was stolen. I have a feeling that's important too. Victor's blow is only found on the blade. That seems consistent here. I don't see anything. I don't see anything here that... I don't see anything here that works right now. Is there really a contradiction in his testimony though? Mr. Knight. Yeah. Yeah, let's look for emotions. Okay, maybe we better look for inconsistent emotion now. Coming in right back. He's a tough one. I heard crying from next door. Of course, I'm worried. Okay. Why is... He's fearful of her, and he's shocked. Shock could be a thing, but it makes sense if he was shocked. Hurried over and opened the door of the workshop. Shock is really loud now. So surprise and anger. And he said sadness. because of Athena. And he's also angry because she put her through those experiments. Let me try these shock statements. That wasn't it. Yeah, that was not it. Strangely enough, I can't skip this. Let me try the other shock statement. He's also not sad for her. Okay. Second shock statement. How odd. Why would you register surprise at opening the door to the lab? Alright, fine. I'll explain if I must. What surprised me was, Punko, that toy figure attacked me. Dr. Sykes knew full well of my plan to rescue Athena. But she couldn't stand guard over her daughter 24 hours a day. So Dr. Sykes had Punko do it? That's right. She ordered Punko to forcibly remove me on sight. So I slashed Punko up with that katana that was there in the lab. That rickety old puppet wasn't worthy of that fine blade. That doesn't make any sense because there was blood on Punko, which means the stabbing had to have occurred before this. It's alright, it's happening again. There's even more noise now. Ah! It's at 100% now. What's going on here? Whenever we find an opening, he covers it up with lies. We'll never get rid of the noise at this rate. It's pretty hard to keep telling coherent lies like that. His mind and will really are as sharp and strong as a katana. Alright, what should I attack first this time? Do we have something that says... that. Testimony. Alright, let's switch it over. If he adds that line, with a feeling dread, I open the neurotic slab door. Just then, Punko attacked me. I retaliated by cutting into pieces.
Objection!
Yes! Okay, I'm onto something here. Compounding lies with more lies is never the answer, Prosecutor Blackquill. Take a look at this photo.
That's the photo of the supposed moment of the murder, isn't it?
How many more times must I see that which dinged me for my sin? The ironic thing is, I think this picture is actually going to be a savior now. See the blood stain at the end of Punko's arm where it was severed with the katana?
I hope you aren't claiming it's the robot's blood, Mr. Wright.
No, not at all. No, most likely the blow was transferred there from the bloody katana.
The katana already had blood on it? So that must have been the victim's blood.
That's right. But if that's the case, we're found a glaring inconsistency. You said in your testimony that you cut up Punko, and then you killed Dr. Sykes. But in spite of that, the victim's blood is already on Punko's arm in this picture.
What? That couldn't be!
Exactly. In order for the blood to have transferred from the sword to Punko's arm, the victim must have been stabbed first before the robot was slashed. In other words, Prosecutor Blackquill, your entire testimony is nothing but one giant ball of lies! Tell the court the truth, Prosecutor Blackquill, now! You have no idea what you're doing. His voice. There's so much discord. I'm hearing not only just one, but two, but a bunch of rampage emotions here. It's hard to describe. It's like a violent whirlpool or something. Oh, look at that glare. Did you see that glare of his eyes? Oh, that is amazing. Phoenix Wright, you will pay for this. Never have I been forced to reveal so much, but the rest I'll take to my grave. Prosecutor Blackquill, you are on the witness stand. You are obligated to tell the truth. Isn't that the rule of the courtroom? All of these complex emotions, they seem to be flowing from one source. I think whatever you really saw that day is what's causing these feelings.
Whoa. Whoa, the...
Finally decided crying, I opened the door and then... I saw that terrible scene. But before I could lead Athena out of there, curse my luck, Dr. Sykes came in. I had no choice but to kill my mentor. I mean, like, where do we even begin here? There's just so much going on. We have the court record and a probe. What if Poco killed her? What if this is robot murder? Infer people's emotions? Oh, I actually can't present evidence right now. Okay, so I have to probe. Oh! Okay, this is different. Probe the robot? The root cause of all these emotions is this. I'm actually not getting any particularly big reading it there, Mr. Wright. I guess that's not it then. I could have caused Blackquill to react with all these emotions all at once. Her crying? Okay, I was on the right track. I just didn't select the right object or person. When you opened the door and saw Athena, you became overwhelmed by emotions. Isn't that right, prosecutor? You should know better. And though it's pathetic, I admit I'm terrified to speak of it. Prosecutor Blackquill, Miss Sykes is innocent. I will always believe that with all my heart. Now, can you find it within yourself to believe in me too? Athena is innocent, huh? Can you honestly say you believe that to be true, right, Dono? I give you my word. Now tell me what you really saw when you opened that door. Curse you, Phoenix Wright. It was a tragedy. One I'll never forget. When I arrived at the lab, Dr. Sykes was already dead. She was lying on the operating table, while the bloody katana lay on the floor. And standing between the two, covered in blood, was Athena. It's a disturbing picture. That is an incredibly disturbing picture. So he lied and took the fall for Athena because he thinks Athena did it. She smiled with a far-off look in her eyes as she sweetly said, "Whoa, that's creepy. God, that's creepy. That's like Zero Escape creepiness right here." Something's wrong with Mom. I'm taking her apart to fix her. That's what I saw. And now you have it. The truth that you so desperately wanted. No. Prosecutor Blackquill finally tells the truth, and this is what it is? It's beyond devastating. I tried to take my mother apart. I. No! So it was me. I'm the one who killed my mother. Athena! As I said, right? The truth isn't always pretty. Murder. Disassembly on an operating table. A scientist using her daughter as a guinea pig. Sadly, it appears that my theory was correct after all.
Objection!
It's true that Athena didn't like her mother's research, but you dare cast aspersions on my mentor by claiming Athena was used in such a manner. Dr. Sykes can be awkward with people, but she loved her daughter with all of her heart. She loved me? Your mother hated to see you suffer because you could hear the voices of people's hearts. She wanted to set you free of your pain, so she worked tirelessly on your research. Do you remember those headphones that you hated so much? Yes. My head hurt every time I wore them. No, Athena. It's just the opposite. They emitted sound waves to nullify emotional input from voices of people around you. Your power was much stronger then than it is now. And those headphones were what enabled you to carry with everyday life. I'm getting a very strong feeling about something, but I'm gonna hold it till the end of the episode. No, that can't be true. Then why? Why would I have done something like that to somebody who loved me so much? Her love for you was real. That I can guarantee. That's why I knew. That what happened had to be some kind of mistake. I couldn't let you be punished for it. So you took the blame yourself. You and your mentor are more alike than you know. Punker was a witness, so I put it in the case, held Athena close, and vacated the lab. I threw Punk away in the boarding lounge trash chute, and I hid the case on the Space Center grounds.
It would seem now that we have all the facts of the case.
Hold it!
No, not yet. It can't end like this.
Objection!
Do not disgrace yourself, Mr. Wright. The truth has been revealed. Or are you the type of man to turn your back on things that disagree with you? I'm not, but this... I can't give up now. I had to say something, anything, even if it's a bluff. I've always managed to pull through that way in the past. I have to make it work. The defense is prepared to present evidence. Mr. Knight. Yes, Athena? It's okay. You can stop now. I don't want you or anyone else to suffer any longer for my mistake. Athena, what are you saying? I killed my mother. That's the truth. It's just like Prosecutor Edgeworth said. We have to face it, no matter how much it hurts. I admit my guilt. But can I please be granted just one chance to tell everyone whatever occurred? It appears Miss Sykes is much braver than you, Mr. Wright. What say you, Your Honor? In light of her courage, will the court give Miss Sykes this opportunity to confess? I thought that was going to be the judge speaking.
Very well. Then if you would, please, take the stand, Miss Sykes.
So I had a theory that popped up. And I want to talk about the theory before I get into it real quick. Hold on, I need to double check if my theory is plausible. It's not possible. Okay, never mind. My theory's wrong. My theory was that Athena is actually the child of Blackquill and Sykes. That was my theory. But it's not possible because Blackquill's 28 and she's 18. So the ages just don't add up. But if Blackquill was, 38 or older, it would have been possible. But with those age ranges, it's not. So my theory just went out the window. Because that would make sense why he's so desperately trying to save her. Because, she would be his daughter. But nope. That's not gonna work. Never mind. Ignore it. Let's continue on. Thank you for letting me do this, Pusket Edgeworth. And thank you, Mr. Wright and Miss Pusket Blackquill, for letting the truth be known. Now we can finally move forward, and everyone's suffering can come to an end. Athena. Prosecutor Blackquill will be cleared and the dark age of the law can come to an end. Yes, admit your guilt and bring everything to its conclusion. I killed my mother. My memory is still a little hazy, but there's no question I remembered it. I remember the weight of the weapon in my hands, and the feeling of it stabbing in deep. And I remember the warmth of her blood as it flowed down the handle onto my fingers. Your Honor, please find me guilty. I dare say, these are all memories that no one but the murderer would have. But she has those psych locks. What is she? There's gotta be something there.
I see. Thank you for your confession. I think this trial has gone on long enough. But before we conclude, does anyone have a counter-argument?
Objection!
I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Wright.
But Mr. Knight, why? I killed her. I remembered it now. Any counter-argument now is pointless.
Objection!
Don't tell me you've forgotten one of the basic tenets of lawyering. Always believe in the client to the bitter end. Athena, you are not a murderer.
Objection!
I said that you never changed, but could you have actually regressed in these 8 years? I won't stand for your childish emotionalism getting in the way of the truth. Emotionalism? Don't lecture me on matters of the heart, Edgeworth. Because I can see straight into a person's soul. I did a little research. I looked into those special psych locks you mentioned, Mr. Nick. Athena isn't trying to keep anything from me on purpose. For some reason, part of her heart and her memories are sealed off, even from herself. There's still a chance. Somewhere deep in Athena's heart. There might still be a memory that not even she knows about yet. It might be like looking for a grain of sand somewhere in the cosmos, but still. That memory might contain a new fact that could prove her innocence.
I hope for anyone's sake that you are not just bluffing, Mr. Wright. Now then, is there not a problem with Miss Sykes' confession?
My memory is still a little hazy, but there's no question I remembered it. I remember the weight of the weapon in my hands, and the feeling of it stabbing in deep. And I remember the warmth of her blood as it flowed down the handle onto my fingers.
Oh, the handle! Oh, the handle! The handle! That's wrong! Hold on, that's wrong!
The katana, it's only on the blade. It's not on the handle. There's definitely something wrong with her memory of the event, I can just tell.
If there is a problem with her confession, please prove it to this courtroom now.
It's the handle, it's the handle.
Take that!
Isn't that the katana the defendant used to kill the victim, Mr. Wright?
I respectfully and vehemently disagree, Your Honor. But I remember it. I remember holding the weapon, getting blood on my fingers. That's exactly my point. The blood really did get on your fingers while you were holding it. There should be blood on the handle. But please focus on the handle of the sword. There's not a trace of blood on it. And therefore, this is clearly a contradiction of the facts. You're right.
Oh my!
Objection.
The defendant must have simply used a portion of her memory, confused a portion of her memories. She mentioned it was hazy to begin with, and we can't mull over every minor detail.
Objection.
But she also said there's no question I remember it, a fact that we can't ignore. In that case, why don't you explain what this contradiction with her memories means? Gladly. Just give me a sec to think of something. I want to say that Athena didn't stab anyone, but she said it herself that she remembers the feeling of committing the act. Think, Phoenix, think! What could the contradiction with Athena's memories mean? The blood was already off the weapon, the defendant used a different weapon. So, the defendant would have to have used a different weapon. Because if she clearly remembers blood on the katana, then there has to be another katana. But I was told that even though this results in a hit to my HP, I should select this. Edra said this is a response that I don't want to miss. So even though I'm going to take some damage here, I need to click this. I trust my committee, 100%. The blood was wiped off the weapon. The blood was wiped off the handle. Uh-oh. I got the treatment. I shouldn't have had to explain the implications of your own argument to you, right? But all your claims suggest is that Miss Sykes wiped the blood off herself after the fact. I knew that! I know that bluffing your way through things is your calling card. But your credibility phoned just now and told me to tell you to put a sock in it. Yes, Daddy. Wait, what? What? That was good. I liked it. The defendant used a different weapon. Miss Sykes said blood flowed down the handle, but the katana's handle is spotless. Thank you, Intra. And thank you everyone else for watching and following along with the video. Really do appreciate you all. So does it follow that the defendant must have used a weapon other than the katana? What are you up to this time? This is it. This time, I found just a thing to end Athena's nightmare for good. Unfortunately, though, we are, like, right against the clock here, so I do need to stop for today. You guys are awesome. Number one YouTube community, all YouTube. I can't tell you how much you guys are just a positive impact on my life. Thank you for everything. I love you all so very much, and I hope you have a wonderful, fantastic, amazing, awesome day. Until next time, on a continued blind Let's Play of Ace Attorney Dual Destinies, so long, and take care. Thank you for watching this video. Feel free to comment on what you saw and what you'd like to see next. I always love to hear your thoughts. But before we go, please remember that you matter, and you are brilliant, and you are loved, and you should always be true to yourself. Never let the world tell you any different. Much love to you from your friendly, feathered, flightless bird.